There are moments in life when you feel that everything is falling apart around you. You watch the news and see chaos. You hear conversations and sense fear. You look at your own situation and wonder how you will overcome it. And amid all that noise, all that uncertainty, you need to find a safe place. A refuge that does not depend on your circumstances. A space of peace that no storm can invade. Tonight, we are going to discover together that secret place that has been available to you all this time. Stay with me, because what we are going to explore will change the way you face every challenge. Welcome to Psalms with David. Psalm 91 begins with an extraordinary invitation. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. Notice that word, dwell. It doesn't say the one who visits occasionally. It doesn't say the one who comes by once in a while. It says dwell. To dwell implies permanence. It implies establishing oneself. It implies making a place your home. And the place this psalm invites you to make your home is not a physical space. It is a spiritual space, the shelter of the Most High. Think about what a shelter means. It is protection from the elements. It is refuge from the storm. It is that place where you feel safe when everything outside is hostile. And this psalm tells us there is a shelter available to you, not built by human hands, but provided by God Himself. This shelter does not collapse under the earthquakes of life. It does not flood with emotional storms. It does not burn with the fires of crisis. It is an eternal, permanent, unbreakable refuge. He will dwell in the shadow of the Almighty. Shadow is a precious concept here. In the scorching heat of the desert, shade is not a luxury. It is a vital necessity. Without shade, the sun can kill you. And life has many forms of scorching heat. The heat of constant pressure, the heat of impossible expectations, the heat of ruthless criticism, the heat of persistent illness, the heat of deep loneliness. And the psalm promises that when you dwell in God, His shadow covers you from all that heat. The shadow of the Almighty. Not someone with a little power, but the all-powerful, the one who has all the power of the universe at His disposal. And that infinite power becomes your protective shadow. What a beautiful image. The greatest power in the universe is used not to intimidate you, but to protect you. Not to crush you, but to cover you. Not to dominate you, but to defend you. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. Here the psalmist does something important. He declares his trust aloud. He does not keep it in his heart, he expresses it. There is power in declaring your trust in God, especially when everything around you invites doubt. When circumstances scream one thing, your mouth can declare another. When fear whispers lies, your voice can proclaim truths. My refuge. Personal, not a refuge for someone else, but for you. Among millions of people in the world, God is your personal refuge. He knows your name. He knows your story. He knows your wounds. He knows your fears. And still, He says, "Come, take shelter in me." My fortress. Not just a place of escape, but a place of power. A refuge protects you from external threats. A fortress gives you strength for your inner being. When you dwell in God, you are not only protected from the external enemy, but you are also strengthened within. My God, what an intimate declaration. Not a distant, inaccessible God. Not a cold, detached God. My God, the one who belongs to me and to whom I belong. The one with a personal interest in my well-being. The one who engages with the details of my life. In whom I trust. Trust is a choice, not a feeling. You can feel fear and still choose to trust. You can see the problem and still decide to believe in the solution you cannot see. You can be trembling and still declare, "I trust." He will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. Here begins a series of specific promises. They are not vague or general promises. They are concrete promises for real threats. The snare of the fowler represents traps you don't see coming. Situations that seem like opportunities, but are deceptions. Relationships that promise love, but bring pain. Decisions that look good in the moment, but have terrible consequences. How many times have you almost fallen into a trap and something, someone, or some circumstance stopped you? You thought it was coincidence, but it was divine protection. That job that seemed perfect, but you didn't get it. And then you discovered the company closed. That relationship you longed for, but didn't work out. And later, you learned things that would have destroyed you. Those investments you almost made, but something stopped you, and they turned out to be frauds. It wasn't luck. It was deliverance from the snare of the fowler, from the deadly pestilence. The word pestilence here can refer to disease, but also to anything that spreads and destroys. Gossip that spreads like a disease. Negative thoughts that infect your mind. Destructive habits that take over your life. Toxic family patterns passed from generation to generation. And the promise is that God delivers you from these destructive plagues. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. This is one of the tenderest images in Scripture. God compared to a bird protecting its chicks under its wings. Have you ever seen a hen when there is danger? She calls her chicks and completely covers them with her wings. The chicks cannot see the danger, only the feathers of their mother. They cannot feel the wind or the rain. They are fully protected. This is how God covers you. When danger lurks, when the storm rages, when the enemy attacks, he covers you with his feathers. You may not see what is happening outside. You may not understand why certain things did not touch you when they touched others. It is because you were under his wings, protected, sheltered, safe. His truth will be your shield and buckler. A shield is for personal protection. A buckler is a larger shield for full protection. And what protects you is not just his power, it's his truth. The truth of who he is. The truth of his promises. The truth of his character. When you know the truth about God, that truth becomes your defense against the enemy's lies. The enemy will say, "You are alone." The truth replies, "He will never leave you, nor forsake you." The enemy will whisper, "You are worthless." The truth proclaims, "You are bought with a price, the blood of Christ." The enemy will scream, "There is no hope." The truth declares, "There is hope and a future for you." The truth is your shield against every arrow of deception the enemy fires. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day. The terror of the night represents those fears that come when darkness falls, when you are alone with your thoughts, when the silence of the night amplifies your worries, when your imagination builds terrible scenarios of what could happen. And the Psalm says, "You will not fear." Not because the fears do not come, but because when they come, they have no power over you. You can lie down in peace and sleep safely, not because there are no threats, but because you have a guardian who never sleeps. Not because everything is resolved, but because you trust the one who has all solutions. Not because you understand everything that is happening, but because you know the one who has everything under control, nor the arrow that flies by day. The attacks you can see coming, those obvious problems approaching that you cannot avoid, that diagnosis you were given, that loss you face, that conflict you cannot evade, that financial situation that worsens, And the promise is not that the arrows will not come, but that you don't have to fear. Because the same God who protects you at night defends you by day. Nor the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor the destruction that wastes at noonday. Here, the psalmist covers all angles, by night and by day, in darkness and in full light, hidden threats and obvious ones, dangers you do not see, and those right in front of you. And divine protection covers every single one. There is no time of day or night when you are unprotected. There is no visible or hidden circumstance where you are defenseless. The pestilence that walks in darkness represents all that works secretly to destroy you. Those illnesses that develop silently. Problems that grow without your notice. Situations that worsen while you are distracted by other things. But even if you don't see them, God does. And His protection operates even over what you are unaware of. The destruction that wastes at noonday, what everyone can see. Public crises, visible failures, obvious losses. And the psalm promises that even in these situations, where everyone witnesses your difficulty, God's protection is active. He may not always deliver you from the problem, but He will always sustain you in the problem. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. This is one of the most powerful and also hardest to understand promises of the psalm. It does not promise there will be no calamity. It promises that in the midst of calamity, you will be protected. 1,000 by your side, 10,000 at your right hand. Numbers that speak of multitudes, of massive problems, of widespread crises. And in the midst of it all, the promise is, it will not come near you. There are moments in life when you feel that everything is falling apart around you. You watch the news and see chaos. You listen to conversations and sense fear. You look at your own situation and wonder how you will get through it. And in the midst of all that noise, all that uncertainty, you need to find a safe place. A refuge that doesn't depend on your circumstances. A space of peace that no storm can invade. Tonight, we are going to discover together that secret place that has been available to you all this time. Stay with me, because what we are about to explore will change the way you face every challenge. Welcome to Psalms with David. Psalm 91 begins with an extraordinary invitation. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. Notice that word, dwell. It doesn't say the one who visits occasionally. It doesn't say the one who passes by from time to time. It says dwell. To dwell implies permanence. It implies settling. It implies making a place your home. And the place this psalm invites you to make your home is not a physical space. It's a spiritual space. The shelter of the Most High. Think about what a shelter means. It is protection against the elements. It is refuge from the storm. It is that place where you feel safe when everything outside is hostile. And this psalm tells us that there is a shelter available for you, not built by human hands, but provided by God Himself. This shelter does not collapse in life's earthquakes. It does not flood in emotional storms. It does not burn in the fires of crisis. It is an eternal, permanent, unbreakable refuge. He will dwell under the shadow of the Almighty. The shadow is a precious concept here. In the scorching heat of the desert, shade is not a luxury. It is a vital necessity. Without shade, the sun can kill you. And life has many forms of scorching heat. The heat of constant pressure, the heat of impossible expectations, the heat of ruthless criticism, the heat of persistent illness, the heat of deep loneliness. And the psalm promises that when you dwell in God, His shadow covers you from all that heat. The shadow of the Almighty, not someone with a little power, but the Almighty, the one who has all the power of the universe at his disposal. And that infinite power becomes your protective shadow. What a beautiful image. The greatest power in the universe used not to intimidate, but to protect. Not to crush, but to cover. Not to dominate, but to defend. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. Here the psalmist does something important. He declares his trust out loud. He does not keep it in his heart, he speaks it. There is power in declaring your trust in God, especially when everything around you encourages doubt. When circumstances scream one thing, your mouth can declare another. When fear whispers lies, your voice can proclaim truths. My refuge. Personal. Not a refuge for someone else, but for you. In the midst of millions of people in the world, God is your personal refuge. He knows your name. He knows your story. He knows your wounds. He knows your fears. And yet he says, come, take shelter in me. My fortress. Not just a place of escape, but a place of strength. A refuge protects you from external danger. A fortress gives you strength internally. When you dwell in God, you are not only protected from external enemies, you are strengthened in your inner being. My God, what an intimate declaration. Not the distant, unreachable God, not the cold, detached God. My God, the one who belongs to me and to whom I belong. The one who takes a personal interest in my well-being. The one who engages in the details of my life, in whom I trust. Trust is a decision, not a feeling. You can feel fear and still choose to trust. You can see the problem and still choose to believe in the solution you cannot yet see. You can be trembling and still declare, I trust. He will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. Here begins a series of specific promises. These are not vague or general. They are concrete promises for real threats. The snare of the fowler represents traps you don't see coming, situations that seem like opportunities, but are deceptions, relationships that promise love but bring pain, choices that seem right at the moment, but have terrible consequences. How many times have you almost fallen into a trap, and something, someone, or some circumstance stopped you? You thought it was coincidence, but it was divine protection. That job that seemed perfect but you didn't get, only to find the company closed later. That relationship you longed for but didn't succeed, only to discover later it would have hurt you. That investment you almost made but didn't, which turned out to be a fraud. It wasn't luck. It was deliverance from the fowler's snare, from the deadly pestilence. The word pestilence here can refer to disease, but also to anything that spreads and destroys. Gossip, negative thoughts, destructive habits, toxic generational patterns. And the promise is that God delivers you from these destructive plagues. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. One of the most tender images in Scripture. God compared to a bird, protecting its young under its wings. Have you seen a hen when danger approaches? She calls her chicks and completely covers them under her wings. They cannot see the danger. They only see their mother's feathers. They cannot feel the wind or rain. They are completely protected. This is how God covers you. When danger lurks, when the storm rages, when the enemy attacks, he covers you with his feathers. You may not see what is happening outside. You may not understand why certain things didn't touch you when they touched others. It is because you were under his wings, protected, sheltered, safe. A shield and buckler is his truth. A shield for personal protection, a buckler for complete protection. And what protects you is not just his power, it's his truth. The truth of who He is, the truth of His promises, the truth of His character. When you know the truth about God, that truth becomes your defense against the lies of the enemy. The enemy will tell you, "You are alone." Truth responds, "He will never leave you or forsake you." The enemy whispers, "You are worthless." Truth proclaims, "You are bought with a price, the blood of Christ." The enemy shouts, "There is no hope." Truth declares, "There is hope and a future for you." Truth is your shield against every arrow of lies the enemy shoots. You will not fear the terror of the night, nor the arrow that flies by day. The terror of the night represents those fears that come when it's dark, when you are alone with your thoughts, when the silence of the night amplifies your worries, when your imagination constructs terrible scenarios of what could happen. And the psalm says, "You will not fear." Not because fears won't come, but because when they come, they have no power over you. You can lie down in peace and sleep calmly, not because there are no threats, but because you have a guardian who never sleeps. Not because everything is resolved, but because you trust the one who has all the solutions. Not because you understand everything that is happening, but because you know the one who has everything under control. Nor the arrow that flies by day. The attacks you can see coming, those obvious problems you cannot avoid, that diagnosis you received, that loss you face, that conflict you cannot escape, that worsening financial situation. And the promise is not that arrows won't come, but that you don't have to fear. Because the same God who protects you at night defends you by day. Nor the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor the destruction that lays waste at noonday. Here the psalmist covers all angles, night and day, in darkness and in broad daylight, hidden threats and obvious ones, dangers you cannot see and dangers in front of you. And divine protection covers each one. There is no time of day or night when you are unprotected. There is no visible or hidden circumstance where you are defenseless. The pestilence that walks in darkness represents everything that works in secret to destroy you. Illnesses that develop silently, problems that grow unnoticed, situations that worsen while you are distracted. Even if you do not see them, God does, and His protection operates even over what is unknown to you. The destruction that lays waste at noonday represents what everyone can see: public crises, visible failures, obvious losses. And the psalm promises that even in situations where everyone witnesses your difficulty, God's protection is active. He may not always deliver you from the problem, but He will always uphold you in it. Though 1,000 fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, it shall not come near you. One of the most powerful and also most difficult to understand promises of the psalm. It doesn't promise that calamity will not happen. It promises that in the midst of calamity, you will be protected. 1,000 at your side, 10,000 at your right hand. Numbers that speak of multitudes, massive problems, widespread crises. And in the midst of all that, the promise is, it shall not come near you. This does not mean you are better than others. It does not mean you are more deserving. It means that when you dwell in the secret place of the Most High, there is special protection over your life. You have seen this in action. Accidents where everyone was injured except you. Illnesses that affected your entire office except you. Economic crises that devastated many, but you survived. It was not luck. It was divine protection. But it is also important to understand that this protection does not always mean the problem won't touch you. Sometimes it means the problem will touch you, but it will not destroy you. Sometimes 1,000 may fall beside you, and you will also face difficulty. But the difference is that you will emerge from it. you will recover. You will find meaning in the suffering. You will grow through the crisis. Surely you will look on and see the reward of the wicked. There is a perspective you gain when you dwell in God. You see things from a different angle. You understand that God's justice, though sometimes slow, is perfect. You don't have to fight your battles because God fights for you. You don't have to seek revenge because God is your avenger. You don't have to prove your innocence because God is your vindicator. With your eyes you will see. You will be a witness. You will observe how God works. You will watch His justice manifest. And that observation strengthens your faith for future situations. Every time you see God act, your trust in Him grows. Every time you witness His faithfulness, your faith deepens. Every time you see His justice, your peace becomes more firmly established. For you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, the Most High your dwelling place. Here lies the key to all these promises. The condition, because you have made the Lord your refuge, because you have made the Most High your dwelling place, everything depends on where you dwell. If you dwell in fear, fear will dominate you. If you dwell in worry, anxiety will control you. If you dwell in bitterness, resentment will consume you. But if you dwell in God, His promises cover you. Dwelling in God is not just thinking of Him occasionally. It is living consciously aware of His presence constantly. It is making decisions based on His will. It is evaluating circumstances in the light of His word. It is breathing prayers throughout the day. It is maintaining an ongoing conversation with Him in your heart. It is filtering your thoughts through His truths. It is aligning your values with His principles. You shall not be harmed, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. Your dwelling is not just your physical house, it is your whole life. Your body is your dwelling. Your mind is your dwelling. Your family is your dwelling. Your relationships are your dwelling. And the promise is that when you dwell in God, your dwelling is protected. It does not say that you will never face problems. It says that evil will not prevail over you. Plagues may come, but they will not stay. You have experienced this. That illness everyone said would be permanent, yet you recovered. That financial problem that seemed unsolvable, yet provision came. That relationship everyone said was dead, yet it was restored. Evil came, but it did not prevail. The plague touched, but it did not settle. Because your dwelling is in God, and He guards what is His. For He will command His angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. One of the most comforting promises of this psalm: you are not alone. There is angelic assistance assigned to your life. Celestial beings commissioned by God to protect you. You cannot see them, but they are there, working behind the scenes, intervening at critical moments, guiding you along safe paths. To keep you in all your ways. Not just some ways. Not just when you are in church. Not just when you are praying. In all your ways. When you go to work. When you drive on the road. When you are at home. When you travel. When you sleep. When you are awake. At every moment. In every place. In every situation. There is angelic protection available to you. This does not mean you can be reckless. It does not mean you can take unnecessary risks. It means that when you walk in obedience, when you follow God's guidance, when you live wisely, there is a divine safety net beneath you. There are invisible forces working in your favor. There are supernatural interventions operating for your benefit. They shall bear you up in their hands, lest you dash your foot against a stone. What a beautiful image, like a father carrying a small child across dangerous terrain, like a mother holding her baby to prevent a fall. This is how God carries you in angelic hands. You may not always feel the carrying, but when you look back, you see the stones you did not fall over. the obstacles you miraculously avoided, the dangers that did not touch you, that you do not strike your foot against a stone. It doesn't promise there will be no stones in your path. It promises that those stones will not cause your fall. There will be obstacles, but they will not be your end. There will be difficulties, but they will not destroy you. There will be stumbles, but you will not fall permanently. And when you do fall, because sometimes we do, those same angelic hands will lift you up. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra. You shall trample the young lion and the serpent. This is a promise of victory, not just protection, but triumph, not just defense, but conquest. The animals mentioned represent different types of dangers. The lion is the obvious, powerful, roaring threat. The cobra is the hidden, venomous, silent danger. The young lion is a danger that seems small but will grow. The serpent or dragon is the seemingly invincible enemy. And the promise is that you will tread upon all of them. Not that you will avoid them, not that you will flee, but that you will overcome them. You will have victory over them. You will dominate them. This speaks of authority, power, and dominion, not by your own strength, but by the authority that comes from dwelling in God. When your life is hidden in Him, you walk with a spiritual authority that even you do not fully understand. For He has set His love upon me. Here, God Himself speaks. And the reason for all this extraordinary protection is simple. Love. Not because you are perfect, not because you never fail, not because you always do everything right, but because you have set your love on Him, because you have chosen Him, because you have decided to trust Him, because you have made Him your refuge. Love here is not just a feeling. It is a decision of commitment. It is choosing God over your own ways, seeking His will above your own desires, trusting His timing even when you don't understand, believing His promises even when you don't yet see them fulfilled, remaining faithful even when circumstances invite doubt. That is love. And that love activates divine protection and favor. I also will deliver him. Deliverance is not something you earn. It is something you receive. It is not the reward for your perfection. It is the gift of His grace. When you have set your love on God, He commits to deliver you. He may not always remove the difficult situation, but He delivers you through it. He may not always take you out of the fire, but He protects you from the harm of the fire. He may not always prevent the storm, but He gives you peace in the midst of it. I will set Him on high because He has known my name. To know His name is not just to know that He is called Jehovah or Yahweh. It is to know His character, to understand who He is, to experience His faithfulness, to trust His goodness. And when you truly know His name, something changes in you. Your perspective rises. You are no longer trapped in the details of your problems because you see the God who is greater than all of them. I will set Him on high. This means He will give you an elevated perspective. He will lift you out of the valley of despair and place you in a high place where you can see more clearly, where the air is purer, where the vision is clearer, where you can see that there is more to the story than just your current problem. From that high place, what once seemed like an insurmountable mountain now looks like a manageable hill. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. Here is the promise of direct communication. When you call, He responds. Not always in the way you expect, not always with the answer you want, but He always responds. Sometimes His answer is immediate action. Sometimes it is peace in the waiting. Sometimes it is wisdom for decision-making. Sometimes it is strength to persevere. But He never ignores your call. How many times have you prayed and felt there was no answer? But when you look back, you realize there was an answer, just not in the way you imagined. You asked for the problem to be removed, and He gave you strength to endure it. You asked for a way out, and He gave you patience to wait for His timing. You asked for circumstances to change, and He changed your heart. Every prayer was heard. Every call was answered. With Him, I will be in trouble. It doesn't say, I will deliver you from trouble. It says, I will be with you in trouble. This is an even more precious promise, because the reality is you will face trouble. You will live through moments of pain. You will go through difficult seasons, but you will never go through them alone. He will be there with you. His presence will be your comfort. His nearness will be your strength. Think of the darkest moments of your life, the nights of the soul where you thought you wouldn't survive. And yet, here you are. You survived. And if you are honest, you will recognize that in those moments, even if you didn't feel it, there was a presence sustaining you, a strength that was not your own keeping you upright, an inexplicable peace in the middle of chaos. That was Him, fulfilling His promise to be with you in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. Here are two promises in one. First, deliverance. He will bring you out of the difficult situation, or He will bring you through it intact. Second, glorification. Not only will you survive, you will thrive. Not only will you pass through, you will grow through it. Not only will you overcome, you will testify. Your story of deliverance will become your testimony of glory. God has a habit of taking our greatest crises and turning them into our greatest testimonies. He takes our deepest wounds and transforms them into our greatest sources of ministry to others. What the enemy intended to destroy you, God uses to glorify Himself in and through you. Your scar becomes your message. Your battle becomes your platform. Your pain becomes your purpose. I will satisfy him with long life. This is not just a promise of longevity, although it includes that as well. It is a promise of full life, a life that is satisfying, a life that is meaningful. You can live many years and still feel that you haven't truly lived. Or you can live fewer years, but live intensely, fully, and satisfactorily. God promises both, quantity and quality of life. And show him my salvation. This is the culminating promise. You will not only experience his protection, you will experience his salvation, his complete deliverance, his total restoration. You will see his hand at work in every area of your life. You will witness his faithfulness manifested. You will observe his power demonstrated. And that experience of his salvation will strengthen your faith to face any future challenge. Psalm 91 is more than beautiful words. It is an invitation to a way of life of dwelling in God, of making his presence your permanent home, of living consciously in his constant protection, of walking confidently in his eternal promises, of resting in his infinite care. Every promise in this psalm is conditional upon that first declaration. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High. Not the one who visits occasionally. Not the one who only comes in crisis. The one who dwells. The one who lives there. The one who has made God his permanent residence. When you dwell in God, all these promises are activated in your life. Dwelling in God means starting your day with him. Before checking your phone, talk to him. Before worrying about your to-do list, rest in his presence. Before facing the world, anchor yourself in him. A few minutes of silence in his presence will set the tone for your entire day. Dwelling in God means bringing every thought to him. When worry comes, don't entertain it. Bring it to him. When fear knocks, don't receive it. Take it to Him. When doubt arises, don't feed it. Counter it with His truth. Maintain a continuous conversation with Him throughout the day. Dwelling in God means filtering your decisions through His wisdom. Before saying yes or no, ask what He thinks. Before moving forward or stepping back, seek His guidance. Before investing your time, energy, or resources, consult Him. His ways are higher than your ways, and His wisdom is infinitely superior to yours. Dwelling in God means surrounding yourself with His Word. Not just reading it, but meditating on it. Not just knowing it, but living it. Not just studying it, but obeying it. His Word is a lamp to your feet and a light to your path. When His Word dwells in you abundantly, you are dwelling in Him. Dwelling in God means cultivating constant gratitude. Instead of complaining about what is lacking, give thanks for what you have. Instead of focusing on problems, acknowledge blessings. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, celebrate what went right. Gratitude keeps you aware of His goodness, and that awareness deepens your dwelling in Him. The secret place of the Most High is not a physical place you travel to. It is a spiritual space where you remain. You can be in the middle of chaos and be in the secret place. You can be surrounded by noise and be under His shadow. You can be facing a storm and be in His refuge. Because the secret place is defined not by external circumstances, but by your internal spiritual position. When you dwell in that secret place, something extraordinary happens. The things that terrify others lose their power over you. Situations that paralyze many do not immobilize you. Problems that destroy some strengthen you, because you are not facing life from your own strength, but living from His strength. From that secret place, your perspective changes. What once seemed like an insurmountable mountain now looks like an opportunity to see God's power. What once caused panic now invites prayer. What once generated despair now produces expectation to see how God will resolve things. From that secret place, your identity solidifies. You are no longer defined by your problems, but by His promises. No longer identified by your failures, but by His faithfulness. No longer characterized by your weaknesses, but by His strength. Your sense of value does not fluctuate with others' opinions because it is anchored in His unchanging love. This psalm reminds you of a fundamental truth. You do not have to live in constant anxiety. You do not have to always be on the edge of a nervous breakdown. You do not have to wake up every day wondering what disaster will come. There is a place of rest available to you. There is a refuge prepared for your weary soul. There is a shelter ready for your exhausted spirit. The world will tell you that anxiety is normal in modern life, that stress is inevitable, that worry is responsibility. But God offers you something different. He offers you His peace that surpasses all understanding. He offers you His rest for your weary soul. He offers you His refuge in the midst of any storm. This psalm does not deny that there are real dangers. It does not pretend we live in a safe world. It does not minimize the genuine threats you face, but it points you to a protection that is more real than any danger, to a power that is greater than any threat, to a God who is more faithful than any circumstance. Every promise in this psalm has been tested by generations of believers. Thousands of people over thousands of years have discovered that these words are not just inspiring poetry. They are experiential realities. They are livable truths. They are promises that can be fulfilled. People who faced literal plagues and survived. People who went through wars and were protected. People who endured persecution and were delivered. People who battled terminal illnesses and were healed. people who faced financial ruin and were restored, people who experienced devastating losses and found hope. All of them testify to the truthfulness of this psalm. And you, sitting here listening to these words, are part of that long line of people who need these promises. You have your own battles. You face your own challenges. You carry your own worries. And this psalm speaks directly to you, in your specific situation, in this particular moment of your life. Perhaps you are facing a health crisis. Doctors have given a difficult diagnosis. Treatments are exhausting. The future seems uncertain. And this psalm tells you, He will deliver you from the destructive plague. He will cover you with His feathers. No evil will overtake you. These are not empty words. They are the promises of a God who does not lie. Perhaps you are struggling financially. Numbers don't add up. Debts pile up. You don't know how you'll make it to the end of the month. And this psalm assures you, because you have put your love in Him, He will deliver you. He will lift you up. He will be with you in your distress. The same God who fed thousands with 5 loaves and 2 fish can provide for your needs. Perhaps you are dealing with broken relationships. The pain of betrayal is deep. The wound of rejection doesn't heal. Loneliness grows heavier every day. And this psalm comforts you. He will command His angels concerning you. He will be with you in distress. He will satisfy you with long life. You are not as alone as you feel. There is a God who draws near to the brokenhearted. Perhaps you are tired, not just physically, though that too. Tired in your soul, tired of fighting, tired of being strong, tired of holding everything together. And this psalm invites you. Come to the shelter of the Most High. Dwell under the shadow of the Almighty. Rest in His refuge. Let Him be your strength for a while as you simply breathe. The enemy wants to convince you that you are unprotected, that you are vulnerable, that you are exposed, that at any moment something terrible could happen and nothing will protect you. But that is the language of fear, not the voice of truth. The truth is that when you dwell in God, there is a coverage over your life that the enemy cannot penetrate. This does not mean you are immune to pain. It means pain does not have the final word. It does not mean you will never face difficulties. It means difficulties will not define you. It does not mean life will be easy. It means you will never face life alone. People have recited this psalm in the trenches of war while bullets flew. People have declared these promises in hospital beds while waiting for test results. People have whispered these words in the darkness of night while tears fell. And they have found that the promises are faithful. Not because they were special people, not because they had reached an extraordinary level of holiness, but because God's promises do not depend on our perfection, they depend on His character. He is faithful, not because we are faithful, but because faithfulness is His nature. He protects, not because we deserve protection, but because protection is His promise for those who dwell in Him. Dwelling in the secret place of the Most High is a decision you make every day. Every morning when you wake, you decide, today I will live consciously in His presence. Today I will trust His promises. Today I will rest in His protection. And that daily decision builds a life of stability amid the instability of the world. The world offers many false refuges. Money promises security, but can vanish in an instant. Relationships promise completeness, but humans are imperfect. Success promises satisfaction, but always leaves a void. Health promises well-being, but is temporary. All of these are refuges that eventually fail. But the refuge of the Most High never fails. When you make God your refuge, It does not mean ignoring reality. It means facing reality from a place of strength. It does not mean denying problems. It means not letting problems negate God's promises. It does not mean living in denial. It means living in faith that transcends what your eyes see. The shadow of the Almighty is a place of refreshment. It is where your soul finds rest, where your mind finds peace, where your heart finds comfort. And the extraordinary thing is that you can be in that place of shadow even while performing daily tasks. You can be working and be in His presence. You can be serving others and be resting in Him. You can be externally active and internally still. This is the secret that many never discover. They think they have to choose between action and rest, between doing and being, between working and worshiping. But when you dwell in God, your doing flows from your being. Your work is worship. Your service is rest. Because you are not working from your own strength, you are allowing His strength to work through you. The night terror mentioned in the psalm is not only literal, it is that terror that comes when all is dark and you cannot see the way forward. When you have lost your direction and don't know how to find it. When the future is so uncertain it paralyzes you. And the promise is, you shall not fear. Not because you have all the answers, but because you know the one who has all the answers. The arrows that fly by day are those obvious attacks, those direct criticisms, those clear accusations, those manifest oppositions. And though you cannot avoid them from coming, they do not have to penetrate you. When your identity is secure in God, others' opinions lose their power to hurt you. When your value is anchored in Him, criticisms cannot destroy you. The promise that 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand is disturbing if read superficially. It seems harsh, it seems unfair, but what it teaches us is a profound truth. God has a specific plan for your life, and that plan includes protecting you so that you can fulfill your purpose. Not because you are more deserving than others, but because He has called you to something specific. This should produce two things in you. First, deep gratitude. When you recognize how many times you have been protected from things you didn't even know threatened you, gratitude naturally arises. Second, serious responsibility. If God has protected and preserved you, it is because He has a purpose for your life. And that purpose deserves your attention and obedience. The reward of the wicked that you will see with your eyes is not an invitation to vengeance. It is confirmation of justice. It is a reminder that although justice sometimes seems slow, it is sure. It is comfort that you do not have to take matters into your own hands because God has everything under control. You can forgive because you know there is a just judge. You can let go because you know there is a divine avenger. When the psalm says God will command His angels concerning you, it is speaking of heavenly resources available to your earthly life. You cannot see them, but they are there, working in the spiritual realm to affect your physical reality, opening doors that seemed closed, closing doors that seemed enticing but would have been destructive, guiding circumstances in your favor, intervening at critical moments. This does not make you passive. It does not mean you sit and expect angels to do everything. It means that while you do your part diligently, you trust that supernatural help complements your natural effort. It means you do not have to manipulate, force, or control, because forces are working in your favor that are more effective than your manipulation. The promise that they will bear you up in their hands so that your foot will not strike a stone is especially precious when you are tired, when you have walked far and the path is still long, when your strength is gone and you don't know if you can take another step. It is then that angelic hands lift you. You may not always feel it, but when you look back, you wonder how you came so far when you were so tired. It was those invisible hands holding you. Treading upon the lion and the serpent is language of victory, of dominion, of authority. And though physically you are not stepping on dangerous animals, spiritually you are exercising authority over the dangers they represent. The lion of fear, the serpent of doubt, the cub of worry that seems small but will grow, the dragon of despair that seems invincible. Over all of them, you have authority when you dwell in God. This authority does not come from shouting louder. It does not come from trying harder. It comes from resting in who you are in Christ, from standing firmly in His promises, from declaring His word over your circumstances, from refusing to be intimidated by what you see because you trust in what He says. When God says, "Because He has set His love upon me," He is not speaking of perfect, flawless love. He is speaking of a heart that has chosen Him, of a life that has decided to trust Him, of a soul that has made Him its treasure. That love, though imperfect, activates His perfect protection. Your flawed love receives His infinite care. Your clumsy pursuit of Him is met with His complete provision. The promise that He will deliver you does not always mean instant release. Sometimes deliverance is a process. Sometimes first comes strength to endure, then wisdom to navigate, and finally change of circumstances. But at each stage of the process, He is working your deliverance. You are not permanently stuck. You are not abandoned in your situation. There is a plan of deliverance in motion. To set you on high is a promise of elevation, of ascent, of promotion, not necessarily in terms of social position or worldly success, although it may include that, but certainly in terms of spiritual perspective. He will lift you from the valley of depression and place you on the mount of hope. He will raise you from the swamp of confusion and establish you on the rock of certainty. The promise that when you call He will answer is a guarantee of access. At any time, in any place, under any circumstance, you have direct access to the throne of God. No intermediaries needed, no appointment required, no need to be perfectly composed. You can come as you are, whenever you need, and He will listen. To be with you in distress may be the most comforting promise of all, because it recognizes that there will be distress. It does not lie to you saying everything will be easy, but it also does not abandon you in difficulty. His presence in your distress is what transforms suffering, turning trial into testimony, making the valley of tears a place of springs. You have experienced His presence in past distress, even if you did not always recognize it in the moment. That inexplicable peace when everything screamed panic. That supernatural strength when you thought you would collapse. That mysterious comfort in the middle of chaos. That is Him. That is the fulfillment of Psalm 91. Finally, He promises satisfaction and long life. And the ultimate reward is seeing His salvation. Not just surviving, but thriving. Not just existing, but living fully. Not just escaping danger, but knowing victory. Not just prolonging years, but experiencing life so full that every day testifies to His faithfulness. Psalm 91 is a roadmap, a daily manual, a spiritual GPS for a life under God's protection. The first step is dwelling in Him. The next steps are trusting Him, obeying Him, and resting in His promises. And the outcome is a life of peace, security, and fulfillment that no worldly circumstance can shake. Dwell in Him today. Let Him be your refuge. Let Him be your fortress. Let Him cover you with His wings. Let His truth be your shield. and walk in the confidence that comes from knowing that the Most High is watching over you, guiding you, protecting you, and loving you every single moment.